Thanks, guys. Again, I think it was a fantastic presentation. One of the things that, well, I guess the most, the whole lot of things that were really impressive. But one thing that was really impressive for me was the very strategic and differentiated staff learning plan. You know, there's, I think we'd all agree, there's obviously a really clear, focused, explicit staff learning plan that it's evolved. You know, you've allowed it to evolve as it's gone along. But the ideas from, you know, taking, from when we first worked on the ideas to taking them back, to embedding them in your own teaching, to gradually moving out, using the videos, making the resources, you know, keeping the teachers informed, and then really embedding it in the you know, all of the classes. I think that's a tremendous plan. I really don't know. Well, where do you think you might go next?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Well, with the students learning, one of the issues we were talking about yesterday is looking at using the continuum, the indicators, as a way of really deciding where to go next. And the continuum really does provide a very clear way and it's quite an extensive way of describing where a group of children are or where an individual child is. And given that in your classes you've probably got a wide variety or a wide range of literacy skills, that using the continuum in a grade 3 class, say in the first 6 months of 2010, there may be some children who in some of the strategies will be at a grade 4 or even at a grade 5 level, and other children probably at a late grade 2 level. So using a developmental way of describing in terms of the comprehending strategies, the literacy outcomes, the word level knowledge and the phonological knowledge in reading can really sort of let you see how you could actually take the students further.
The other thing too, John, you know, one of your first slides, you had your 2 boxes, you know, with AIZ, where we started here and we're heading up there. I think on that line, we're moving well up there, but I think each year you've almost got to think, well, you know, you're getting new staff in, we also get a lot of new kids in. So we can't say, well, all right, we're here. I think all the time you've just got to constantly keep going and making sure that it's continuing and being maintained.
And I think the PLT meetings have helped us to continue to focus on those strategies, because, you know, it's showing what the kids need. You know, this is where they're at and this is where they need to go. And so what strategies am I going to use? And that's helped us to keep the momentum going. So, you know, we're saying, well, you know, we've been summarising, but hang on, the skills aren't working, so let's look at what we're doing, the way we're teaching it. So in that way, I think that has helped to keep it going.
Even from the students' perspective, I just quickly did something where I had all the key comprehension strategies and asked the children, you know, to say whether they'd heard it, whether they've been shown it, whether they can teach it to someone else. And that was just a quick snapshot for me to see, because sometimes we assume that kids are confident with things, but they're not necessarily. So it's sort of like a assessment tool for me to where I have to go next with which particular students with the strategies.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I'd be doing at Reservoir Primary School if I were in the school next year would be getting the old AIM booklets, and if I were teaching grade 3, I'd be, or teaching grade 4, I might be using, say, some of the, if I had sets of the old AIM booklets, once a month I'd be using the grade 5 booklets with the grade 4 students, and really helping them see how to deal with a situation where they might have 3 or 4 different genres at once, and how they would deal with each one, and use them very much in a learning way. I'm not interested in assessing them or knowing what the outcomes are, but I'm really wanting the students to really practice switching from one genre to another, to actually use the strategies and to plan how they're going to, you know, read, because the true test of literacy these days is being able to switch from genre to genre and being able to use images. I mean, and it is almost getting into multi-literacies, you know, where you read You need to read the diagrams into the text and talk about them.
So John, we actually looked at AIM data or NAPLAN data, and through the way that Lorraine showed us to analyse it, we actually highlighted the strategies that kids were having trouble with. And it's interesting because it's exactly what you were saying. That
we had the booklet there.
And we had the booklet. We're looking at, and basically that's exactly where we need to go to next. Our kids are not good at using. The skills are good, but as soon as the genre changes and it's a different format and something that they're not quite familiar with, that's the ones that they had trouble with. So it's exactly where to go to next.
So at the getting knowledge ready phase, having them say how they'll, what they think the genre is and what they expect about it, having worked through it, what they know about it now, and then at the end of the session, the review session, what they'll do next time, and how they'll actually deal with it next time. So self-talk that brings together what they know, what they've learned, and then what they're going to do next. I would see as being really important.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks again to